That's a great question. I think this is something that a lot of artists will associate with, particularly, if you don't live in a big city like New York, LA, Miami, Los Angeles, Chicago. If you are an artist who lives, for example, in a rural place, you might find yourself like thinking, well, that's also me, right? So thank you, Betty, for bringing that up, because I think that's a very important question. How do we, connect with others for opportunities, when we are not in one of those big cities? Well, you got to start always where you're at, right? Always look at where you're at. And I believe in circles, right? There's this power on circles, on the nucleus is where you're at, right? Even if it's a small city, who are the key players in your city? Make sure you get to know them, attend some events in your city that people that you may want to connect with are there. A lot of times we put all our eyes on far away, and we haven't really capitalized as much as we can on what we already have with us or nearby us, right? And then start going, okay, that's my inner circle. Okay, I'm taking care of my inner circle. I'm participating, doing events, connecting with people in my inner circle, who are close to me geographically. Then start expanding your circle. Okay, what is my next circle? What are the cities nearby that are, bigger cities perhaps that are near me? How can I start seeing what they have? These are cities that I can drive to, or I can take transportation because they are closer. It's not something that you're going to go every week, but you can start seeing what type of events, what type of exhibitions, what type of galleries or opportunities may be on those cities, so you can start planning for those things. Put them in your calendar, and then you start expanding your circles. Okay, what's the next circle? How about statewide, right? Am I close to Miami? Am I close to Palm Beach? Am I close to, other cities, right? And start pinpointing what would be the best time for me to go to XYZ city, right? Things are happening. For example, let's say you were in St. Louis, Missouri, and you want to go to Chicago because it's a bigger city, more art, a lot of things happening there, particularly during the non-winter months. So I would recommend you go to Chicago when it's time for the Chicago Art Expo. So find out when the Chicago Art Expo is. You look at the website and just Google it. We all have now Google, so we can access things quickly. And you plan a trip there for the weekend, so you can go to the fair, you can meet, sign up to also go to the talks that happen inside the fair, because you never know, you may be sitting next to a collector or a gallery or something just because you went to the artist talk, or to also some of the events that happen around the art fairs. And you plan that, right? You arrive early to the fair, you walk in, you talk to people. Don't do it when everybody's there with the whole crowd and there's a lot of people and it's hard to make connections. Do it early, when the galleries are just getting their coffee ready and they're just starting, and you are the only one walking through the aisle. That's the best time to find those meaningful connections that you can make. So, find those opportunities. At the same time, during an art fair is when also all the galleries in the town are putting their best shows. Do a program. Like it's almost like if you're going on vacation and you're signing up for tours, except it's work, right? So you are going and signing up for different events that will be happening in different galleries, particularly artist talks. You want to go to events that are not like these big giant parties where there's a lot of people. You probably won't get to meet anybody, but more like smaller scale, like artist talks, panel discussions, things of that nature. That's where you want to go. Bring your business cards, make a point to at least meet one person there. And that's how you begin to expand your opportunities on a one-on-one basis, right? On a personal basis. And of course, we all have social media too, and trying to make connections through social media. I have made actually a lot of connections through social media, just by making myself also available to other people through social media, and also me taking the first step. A lot of times we're like, well, nobody's contacting me in social media, nobody's asking me, nobody's coming to me, but it works both ways. Sometimes I can be the first one to initiate a conversation, and a conversation doesn't mean, hey, I saw that you're an art collector, can you look at my art, or can you give me advice, or can you give me which I get a lot of those messages, particularly when artists see me opening the gallery here in South Florida. I get a lot of emails or messages from artists like, hey, I saw you open a gallery in South Florida. Can you look at my art? Well, I don't even know you. We haven't even connected. We haven't even, that's not the right way to do it. Right way to do it. You see, for example, somebody who just did something like this, send them a message, super excited, congratulations. That's it, right? Then you continue following that person, you continue, looking at what they're doing and so on, and becoming a person of value to somebody else. I believe that we become persons or people of value to somebody else. That's when opportunities begin to show up. So what are we doing here, for example, in South Florida? I'll give you a great example. That's why I love this question. I'm going to give you a great example. I just moved here to South Florida, so we're spending our weekends where I could be, just relaxing and chilling in the sun and the beach or the pool. No, we're signing up for open studio events. We are this weekend we went to open studio events in Norwood. It's pretty amazing. We met a collective of artists, super cool. And we're not going there to ask for things. We're just going to show up and say hi and shake hands and nice meeting you and exchange cards, and that's how it all starts. But one has to be proactive. One has to plan. One has to be willing to step out of our comfort zone sometimes, in order to make ourselves visible, and that's how it all starts, right? You never know, one person that you meet that you're like, well, this it's just another artist that I met. I really want to meet like important collectors or something like that, but all I meet is artists. It's okay, you start with artists. Every artist has a network. Maybe that artist that you meet and you become friends with, shares with you an opportunity that he or she is participating on, and all of a sudden that opportunity is the thing that opens the doors for you. I always say that you may be just one email away or one conversation away, one business card exchange, one friend away from the opportunity that will change your life. We all could be in that spot right now. We don't know. So that's why, we do this with positivity, with a mindset of I'm here to give value versus take value from somebody else. So, Betty, thank you for that question. I loved it. And I love this. I love this. And this is exactly what we do every Thursday inside the Art NXT Level program. For everyone who's in our program, this is kind of how I like to brainstorm ideas. It's not just, okay, here's a question, let me send you an answer, but let's brainstorm. Let me talk through as I'm thinking in my head. Let me talk to you about what is coming to my head, and then hopefully that inspires you, motivates you to go and take some action and do some things with that can make a significant change in your art career, right? That's exactly what it's all about.